It's not that great. I'm live. Okay. Coolio. So we're going to do a poll to see which book will... Okay, yeah, there it is. It should be up for you to vote so you can decide which one we're going to talk about first, either The Fury or Kismet. Ooh, on here it does it inverted. How exciting, but on here it doesn't. Poll is at the top corner under my name. So we'll see which book we're going to chat about first. How does the book club work? So we read these. Some people read both. Some people only read one. Some people read none. When I read the book, I go through and I make annotations and notes, and then we just go through the book piece by piece and we chat about it. And then at the end of the discussion, when we're done talking about both books, is when you guys give me a list of the potential choices for next month. And then I make a video for you guys to vote on what you want to read next month. And that's it. I am going live on the other platform. The chat is not live on there. So if you want to chat, you have to do it here. You read the Science Trilogy. Oh my gosh. So good. Woohoo. How exciting. It's like I see my face in two places. Feel like a real internet person. Well, this isn't out in paperback yet. This is a advanced reader copy. That's why it's in paperback. This is only in hardback right now. And I believe this just came out in paperback, but it was on Kindle Unlimited. Professional. I'm very professional. Yeah, nice. Oh, nice. I think because this just came out, I think in January. So I'd only seen it in hardback, but I'm glad that you were able to get it in paperback. You got both from the library. Nice. That is lucky. You got Kismet on Pango. Nice. There's a slight delay on the tube. Okay, we're going to talk about The Fury first. Oh man, that was a close vote. 49.32% to 50.68%. Wow. That was a close one. Oops. There's like this microphone right here, and I'm afraid to bonk into it. Steph echo through my house. Hello. Oh, thank you, Jamie. You had to restart it 4 times. Oh. The mic quality difference is staggering. Oh, because this microphone is so much better. As opposed to my, like, I don't know how old my, like, 4.5-year-old phone. Good afternoon. Should I do some sweet ASMR whisper sounds? Just kidding. Okay. What was everybody's rating? What did you think? Really quick. Let's hear it. Thank you so much, Chelsea. A 3. Hate. Not even a star rating, just a hate. DNF. Oh, thumbs down. Okay, we got some 4s. Okay. I didn't like it. Okay. DNF. Oh, 1 from Nikki the Queen. So far, not a fan. The hubby stole it. Found the dear reader aspect annoying. Okay. But then it grew on me. A 1, a 3. Oh, man. Read the back and thought, no. I didn't even know he could read. You saw that ending coming. Twisty. The narrator made me rage. Okay. I gave it like a 2.5, a 3. Ooh, I don't know. I felt just very kind of like weird about it. I had read The Silent Patient, which was this author's debut novel back in 2020, and I enjoyed it when I read it. But also keep in mind that I had just come off like a 5-year long reading slump where like I didn't, it's not like I think if I read that book for the first time today, I would definitely feel a lot differently than I did. If that makes sense. And so I enjoyed that one. And I never read The Maidens, but I heard really terrible things about it. I heard some like that book stunk or something. So before reading this book, my thoughts were like my expectations for this one are really low. I heard almost all negative things about this one. But a lot of people hated Silent Patient, and I liked that one. So maybe it won't be so bad. Those were my pre-reading thoughts. My post-reading thoughts were, what the hell did I just read? This was so bizarre. The first 230 pages were so dull, and the last 60 pages were so confusing. I don't even know what's real or what really happened. I like messy and shockingly twisty books. However, I need to understand them. And literally, as soon as I was done, because Nikki had already read this, the Queen of Cyberspace. So I knew that she had already read it. So when I read it, I literally messaged her and was like, "Can you explain the ending to me? Because I'm confused. I don't quite know if I understand what happened." I thought it was going to be good. And then I was like, oh, no, it wasn't. So this is the one that everybody voted on. And then this is the one that I picked. I apologize. So I'm surprised we both didn't. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the whole beginning, the whole like first two, like this is like a short book. It's not even 300 pages, but the first like 2/3 were just so dull for me. Moving on. She said, "I apologize." Yes. Okay. So getting into it. Let's see. Okay. Right off the bat, after the first like page, basically, page 7, when he says, "We are all unreliable narrators of our own lives," I wrote, "I'm already side-eyeing this narrator. He, I'm assuming it's a he, just told us he's unreliable." So it's like, I already don't trust you. I already don't think that you're going to tell us the truth. But I will say I'm glad that the chapters were short. This will confirm that the author is not for me. And that is okay. That is totally okay. I feel like I didn't really write that many annotations for either of these two books because I just kind of felt like about both of them. Okay, beginning of chapter 6 on page 31. Kate had no choice. We both knew it. If she refused to sit with me, it would start the weekend off on a bad note. And I said, well, if that's not a glowing red flag, if she refused to sit with me and start off with a bad note. Like, I basically disliked the narrator, like, right off the bat. He just gave me really creepy vibes, you know? It's your first unreliable narrator. Well, I'm sorry that this was your first introduction to unreliable narrator because that trope is actually stupendous and there's way better books. Most unlikable narrator. Yes, the plot was like, I'm a man who wanted her. How dare friend zone me? Truly. Pretty much only liked the sun. You know. Okay, it seems like the narrator is not very well liked, and I get it. He kind of seems like a slime ball. Also, this writing style is giving very much word salad. That's the note that I had at the end of chapter 7. Like, I don't know. I know that's just me personally, but I'm not dazzled by the way that you string words together. If you use very like floofy metaphorical language, I'm very much more like give me straightforward the story. Don't like get spin a web of all kinds of random word salad to, you know what I mean? Like I don't that doesn't make me like the book. Very pretentious. Absolutely. Came across as trying too hard. I agree. I should have tabbed this book. But I'm lazy. Hi, almost forgot. You're here. We just got started. We're talking about the Fury. Is this the Fury? Yes. So many words were used to say absolutely nothing. Absolutely agree. It was like this. No likable characters in either one, honestly, in either book. Okay, so then on page 92, at the end of Act 1, we find out that Lana, has perished. And I underlined a deep red shawl around her shoulders. So my note was, I totally had a feeling that Lana would be the one to get it. And although Kate is a total jealous twat, it would be too easy for her to be the killer. The author is obviously trying really hard and being really heavy-handed with Kate. And my guess was Jason, the husband. That was my claim, my guess. He was paid by the word. That's how I feel about Ruth Ware. I feel like she gets paid by the word. You were furious reading it. That's very clever. Didn't like the jumping around. Yeah. I know he said it wasn't a murder mystery, but it was. Mm-hmm. First guess is that Lana paid Nikos to do it. Ooh. You're watching from church. The dedication. I love it. You totally hate it when he directly addresses the reader. I don't know if I've really read a book like that before, like this before, where it's like talking directly to us as the reader. Definitely felt repetitive. Well, especially once you get to the end and it's like, Groundhog's Day, basically. That's how I felt about what was that one book we read for book club 2 years ago? Evelyn Hardcastle. Heavens. I gave it like a 2.5. Hi. Okay. So then on page 99, I guessed he's probably writing this from jail. That's my guess. And that maybe he went down for a crime that he didn't do, like in the book If We Were Villains, which, by the way, I also despised that book. That book made me so mad. It was really confusing how it restarted. This book sounded much better than it was. You don't need to be sorry, babe. You DNF'd it in the middle of a chapter? Which one? What pushed you over the edge? I wanted to finish it so it would end. I totally understand. Oh, thank you so much. Hi, hello. We're on page 100. Okay, so then page 122, chapter 9. My note was, Jason and Kate possibly having an affair makes me less inclined to believe that either of them were responsible for Lana. It just seems too obvious. However, what if I'm right about the narrator telling the story from jail and he took the fall for someone else, like Leo? Like, what if Leo killed his mom because she wouldn't let him be an actor? That was my thought process during that part. You ate it up. Are you also from London? Because you paid for the audiobook. Gotta get that money was worth. I totally understand. Mistaken identity. Oh, my page numbers are different? Oh, maybe because mine's like the ARC copy. I'll stop saying the page numbers then. Okay, at the end of chapter 11, she wanted to forget all about it. What a good thing then. I was there to remind her. And that's when I really started to dislike. I mean, like, I already disliked Elliot, the narrator, but then it was just like, you are being so gross and so aggressive. I said, his intentions are obviously so slimy. He only wants her and Jason to break up so that he can swoop in. He creeps me out so bad. He gave me the creeps. Baked Bean, I'm so glad to see you. Whenever I see your name, it just makes me so happy. I just kept going, oh no. Yes. Well, and especially if you find out that like later when you find out that the old lady that he used to live with like told Lana like that he was horrible and terrible, like when they were, like first started being friends, like not to blame her for anything, but I don't know why it just Baked Bean just makes me so happy. Seeing your face and seeing your name just makes me really excited. So I was just like, and then he's like, oh, well, don't forget, like, you should do this. Like, don't forget to like say something, da 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 da. And it was just like, ugh, you're so gross. You're so gross, Elliot. And then again, I made basically the same comment at the end of chapter 14. Elliot is such a sleaze because it's so obvious that he has selfish intentions with her relationship failing. And I marked the part where it says, but it would be dishonest not to admit that part of me was relieved. For if Lana needed more proof than an earring, then fate had just supplied it. Can we do Frida next month? We can add it to the list. And if it gets voted on, then 100%. It's book club day. Housemaid 2? Ooh. I mean, we read Housemaid a few months ago, right? Okay. So I understand this scene now that we've read the whole thing. But when I was reading it, obviously, like in the moment, I was just so shocked. At the end of chapter 17, when they get back from somewhere and they're like having a drink, and then Lana wants to go upstairs and she's like, come on, Jason, let's go. And then Kate's like, no, Jason, stay right there. I mean it. Don't go. You'll regret it if you go. I'll take that risk. And she's like, you need to make a decision, please. You must choose me or her. When I was reading that, I was like, I wrote my eyes would bug out of my head. I mean, obviously now we understand that like she was just goading the situation. Like she was just prompting the situation to be more awkward and intense because they were in on it. But I wish a bee would. I was like, oh my heavens. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this is like the least annotated book we've ever had for book club. I question reading this. Glad I didn't. Yeah, you saved yourself. Use chapters from Lana's POV. That would have been cool. That would have probably made it a little bit more interesting. Black Dog Wasteland. That one's really good. You wrote a novel in my notes. I was just like, can this please be over? Okay, what chapter are we in? Chapter 2 of Act 3. When he was talking about him as a kid and they held him down and poured moldy milk on his face. I just had to make a comment about that. I wrote, absolutely the F not. Yuck. So gross. Well, I appreciate your dedication to the book club, Jesse. That'll stick with me. I gagged. It was that's so gross. Oh no, is it really terrible there? When he said it was green. Oh. Well, I have my merch shop linked in my bio to be like an absolute annoying internet human being. They eventually became rage comments. Ice cream and butcher. Oh my gosh. I try to block the memory of us reading that out of my head. How exciting! Make a bun with no hair. I mean, I made a video about that. I enjoyed this book. I wish more insight to Elliot's mental health issues. Yeah, because it definitely just made it seem like he was bullied as a kid, and then he became a manipulative, like, sleazeball in his adult life, and then that was it. Like, because he orchestrated his friend's, downfall of her relationship because he wanted to be with her. Like, that's... I find it very hard to empathize with somebody like that. Gave him just a hint of love and he ran with it. Agreed. So chapter 5 of Act 3, it's just when he's like, it's hard for me to write about my friendship with Lana. There's too much to say. That's why. How can I possibly describe in a series of well-chosen vignettes the slow and complicated process of a growing bond of trust and affection between us? I was just like, your obsession with Lana makes me want to hurl. It's so off-putting. Well, I was just like, good gracious. And how two people who were so close in every regard could, in the end, misunderstand each other so completely. Because it was just like infatuation, and it just gave me the creeps. Lana is the real villain of the book. I mean, none of them were great. None of them were good people, for sure. I can't read these comments and listen at the same time. But, like, would you read a book? Leah wasn't... Okay, true. Leah wasn't bad. And at the end, when she was like, he killed him. Or he killed him. Okay. So then, just random thought that I had. Chapter 8 of Act 3, when they're talking about how he was planning on proposing, they went to go meet Kate and her boyfriend, who was Jason. And then it says, Lana acted completely out of character that night. She was all over Jason, flirting shamelessly with him. She threw herself at him. And she was being so weird and cold, dismissive, blah, blah. I said, this is literally the plot of Something Borrowed, which was a book. And then they made it into a movie with Jennifer Goodwin and Kate Hudson, where, like, they're clearly supposed to be together. And then Kate Hudson swoops in and it's like, oh, you're hot. Let's be together. And then they are going to get married. It's like, that's Something Borrowed. That's a cute movie. And then, okay, end of chapter 8. I told her all about you. Oh, and Barbara is like, being a crazy old lady. I told her all about you. I told her your real name. I told her what you were when I found you. I told her I've had you followed, that I know what you get up to in the afternoons and the rest. I told her you're dangerous, a liar, a sociopath, and you're after her money like you're after mine. I told her I caught you messing about with my medication not once but twice recently. If anything should happen to me in the near future, you mustn't be surprised. And I was like, damn, like, I don't like Elliot, but that's really messed up. What a hag. You're late. We're talking about the Fury. We're almost I'm done with it. I'm going to crack open my Arizona. This is not alcohol. It's tea. She wasn't wrong, though. I gave it like a 2.5. What did you rate it? Allison! Thank you so much. Was she telling the truth? Maybe. Because he ends up being not a good person. So maybe. I was not for Elliot at all. Oh. Well, we appreciate your dedication, Sammy. Thank you so much for pushing through. It's implied that he killed Barbara right then. Yes. Well, I mean, and then he, like, in the like last page or last couple pages, he talks about it, like how he runs down to the bottom of the stairs to check to make sure that she's not breathing and this and that. Yeah. Have a wonderful time at work. I hope it's great. The last page is so confusing. Okay, we'll get to that because I wrote a note about how I was confused. I forgot his name was Elliot. I know in my notes I kept forgetting what his name was too, and I wrote like the narrator. Okay. So then we find out that he, was planting all of these things. He found out about Kate and Jason's affair, and that he was the one trying to like orchestrate Lana finding out. Like, no, I must be entirely independent of this unsavory business. Only then could I appear as her savior to rescue her and carry her off in my arms. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. And I said, a good person would tell her right away and not have selfish intentions. What a sleazeball. And then the next page, and it says, it's hard to get the balance right. Too subtle a hint, and it went undetected. Too much, and I give the game away. And I said, game? You think this is a game? A game? The earring proved just right. And I was like, wow, you're the villain. You were the villain. Gag. Truly. He's a meddler. Okay. So the next couple pages, we're in chapter 13. I think we're still in part 3. So my only hesitation in this was Lana. I didn't want to lie to her. Yeah, we believe that. But I decided, and judge me harshly for this if you like, that it was for her own good. I want to hurl. And then, after all, what was I doing? Nothing but freeing the woman I loved from a faithless, dishonest criminal and replacing him with a decent, honest man. She would be so much better off without him. She would be with me. Like the hot fire rage that courses through my body. I gave it like a 2.5. This is horrible. I had to read this into it. Just like mocking it. Ooh. Ugh, bored. Oh, I'm big mad. Yeah, just like the. And then, for even though my plan went so wrong, even though it ended in such disaster, there in designing of the plot, in its conception, it was beautiful. That's my story in a nutshell. A tale of a beautiful, well-intentioned failure ending in death, which is a pretty good metaphor for life, isn't it? And I wrote, give me a break. There we have it. I'm aware this has been a lengthy aside. It is, however, integral to my narrative, but that's not up to me, is it? It's what you think that counts. And you don't say anything, do you? You just sit there listening, silently judging. I'm so conscious of your judgment. And I wrote, oh, I'm judging you. Don't you worry. I'm judging real hard. Like, they laughed at him. They did. They, like, laughed and pointed at him. I mean, with good reason. I want off this roller coaster. We ain't friends, bruh. Not silent, judging loudly. Judging. Ooh. Very, very loudly, full voice. So then I will say, I was like, oh, she ain't dead? Okay. Wasn't expecting that. Did anybody else expect that? Who was surprised that Lana wasn't, she was faking? I'll keep on the shenanigans. You saw it coming. Okay. Well, because you're very, very smart. I was surprised. Okay. Surprised but didn't care. You're like, please let this be over. Oh, I keep bonking this. I'm so sorry for those of you listening on YouTube right now that I keep bonking the microphone. Oh my gosh, she spoke to Nico first. Okay. I was not surprised, but it still just a great surprise. Okay, so like for me, this is when I was like, okay, like what incarnation is happening? What is happening in the House of Commons? Okay, and then the next page, when it's chapter 15, Lana wasn't dead, judging by the sparkle in her eyes. She'd never felt more alive. Agatha was overcome with emotion. She wanted to fall into Lana's arms, sob with joy and relief, hold Lana tight, but she didn't. Instead, she found herself staring at Lana with increasing anger. A game? What kind of game? And I wrote, bitch, what? Like, what? Because at first I thought that it, like, you know, I didn't, when we found out that she wasn't really dead, I thought that it just like, it was, what's the word? Like they just didn't follow through, or she was like still breathing or whatever. But then finding out that it was like all a plot, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that either. And then you find out that this was all planned between Lana and Elliot, the narrator. They'll turn on each other in an instant. Don't think they won't. If you want to end their affair, just put that kind of pressure on it for a few hours. And I was like, the unhingery. You wrote, who cares? Another twist. And then we're not even done with the twists. There's still like 3 more. Like, what the hell? And then when okay, so Jason comes into the house or whatever, and it's like right after they find out that Lana dies. And they go into the house to get the, you know, pew pew, and they're not there. She's dead. Don't you even care? Leo screamed. This is what she'd been waiting for. This was Lana's real reason for agreeing to my plan. She wanted to observe Jason's reaction to her death, to test his love. She wanted to see if Jason's heart would break, or at least glimpse some proof that he possessed one. She wanted to see him cry, see him weep for his beloved Lana. Well, she saw Jason didn't shed a single tear. As Lana watched him from the top of the stairs, she saw he was angry and afraid, trying not to lose control, but he wasn't heartbroken or grief-stricken. He was entirely unmoved. And I put, wrecked. Like, you did this whole thing, and he's just like, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's like not, and I can't invert it on here. Needed a flow chart for the twists. It was just like it was kind of just like, and then this, and then this, and then this. Why was she surprised he was an unemotional person? I don't know. Then, okay. So then the maid, Agatha, is like yelling at Lana and is like, how could you do this to me? Which, like, rightfully so. Like, how could you? God will punish you. I think he already has. And then she's basically telling Elliot like that she's over it. It's over. She said this must stop now. And he said, it's not finished yet. We still have the final act. Agatha has to wait until it's curtain now. It's over. Well, what about Jason? Jason doesn't care. He thinks I'm dead. He doesn't care. And then it says, at last, I thought, at last Lana was awake. At last she had seen the light. I had been waiting for this moment. Now we could begin again. She and I on an equal footing this time. We could begin again with honesty and truth. And I wrote, so large. Oh my God, the delusion. This is going to end with Elliot shooting her for real because she doesn't want him. Which is true. That's exactly what happened. Woman sets boundary, man stomps on it. Tale as old as time. A tale as old as time. Okay. So now we're on chapter 6. And it like this part I didn't quite understand. Like when he tells Kate that Nikos is dead. I don't quite understand why he would do that. I don't like why would he lie about something that's so easily disprovable? You know? No, he didn't die. Just Elliot just decided to tell Kate that. Because after Lana's body is found, Jason and Nikos are like at his like cabin bungalow, whatever. And then Jason tells Nikos to stay there until the police come. And so Nikos is supposed to stay in his little cabin until the police come. But then, and so like Kate hasn't seen Nikos since the body was found or whatever. And then he just decides to tell Kate that Nikos is dead. And I'm like, that's so easily disprovable. Why would you tell her that? Storming her fear. Oh, yeah, because then he's like, Jason did it. It's like reverse Clue. And then the next page, when he hands Kate a weapon, and then I found it in Jason's study. Take it. No, take it. Act like an idiot if you must, but take this with you. Kate stared at me for a second. Then she made a decision. She took it, and I stood aside and let her pass. And I was like, oh, he's hoping that she's going to shoot Jason. Which, that was his intention. Yeah. Good to know. Cute. Okay. Then, okay, at the end of chapter 8, so it talks about how, like, it goes through the whole thing of Kate and Jason having an argument. Listen to me, Elliot's a liar. You don't know, and blah, blah, blah. Like, and then they fight over the weapon and give it to me. It's me, blah, 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 blah. And then she squeezed the trigger. She fired. She missed. He kept coming. She fired again. And she finally hit her mark. Blah, 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 blah. And at the end of this page, I wish I could end the story there. Smashing ending, isn't it? It has everything you need. A man, a woman, a weapon, a gun, a beach, moonlight. Hollywood would love it, but I can't end the story like that. Why not? Because it isn't true, unfortunately. And I was like, dude, you are killing me. You are killing me. That's not what happened. It's just a figment of my imagination. It's what I hoped would happen. It's the scene I sketched out in my notebook, but it's only fiction, I'm afraid. Real life turned out somewhat differently. It's like, what? Like, we went through all of that for you to tell me that that never happened? That makes me want to hurl this in a fire. You caught me. I'm here. We're here. Stop with it. Just kidding. Ugh. So then, let's see. As I stood there in the shadows watching Kate climb the jetty steps, That's when Nico showed up, and then he had a weapon for his own. And then they all confront him and blah, blah, blah. And then, he's trying to be like, Lana's not really dead. Believe me, believe me. And he's like screaming out her name and stuff. I mean, he still can't. I put it in the trash next to the last wife. Oh, dear. He gaslit all of us. Yes. So then we start what is this, 5? And we only have like 25 pages left. So it's Lana, and she's waking up in her like house or room or something. Lana woke up in the dark. Oh, and this is when she's still at Elliot's apartment. And then you find out that the whole enchilada was just written down in his book before they ever even got to the island. And when I read that, I was like, I'm so confused. Was that whole thing that we just read fake? What is happening? Like, I feel like it's very unclear. Or maybe I'm just dumb. I was so confusion. My character is just a bad writer. Well, because at the end you find out that the play that because Nikki explained it to me, the play that he's like famous for, he didn't even write. And he's not a good writer, and he admits it himself. Maybe he used that as an excuse to just do all over the page for 300 pages. Oh, thank you so much. And surprise, another twist. So then you find out that she tells Kate all of it, and then Kate's like, well, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's double cross the double crosser. Lana's revenge was complete. And then, he's like, we can be together. Come on. Blah, blah, blah. Love me. Choose me. Pick me. And she's like, stay away from me. Stay away from my family. If I ever see you again, I'm calling the police and you're going to jail. Get him off the island. And then I knew that he was gonna, right before the epilogue, when he walks into the kitchen and then he bang, bang, bang. And I said, well, at least I called that. We're talking about the Fury right at the very end of it. Maybe the point was to send us into a fury for reading it. Smart. The talisman that told their future. We are furious. But wait, there's more. It was tied to the silent patient? Did I miss that? How is it tied to the silent patient? I mean, it's been like 4 years since I've read that one, so I don't know if I would even remember it. But they're from Zenni, Zenni. Oh, the end was in the same hospital? Oh, I thought he was in jail. Interesting. Oh. Theo. Oh. That totally went over my head. Not going to lie to you. I didn't pick up on that at all. At all. Okay, so then the last page, when the gal comes and she's like, you need to write down your whole story in the spirit of honesty. Allow me before we part to tell you one final story about me and Barbara the night that she died. I think you'll find it illuminating. So he describes this whole scene of her falling down the stairs and him going down the stairs, and then how he found her diary and he ripped off the front page and then like put his name on it. I was so confused that I literally wrote, I think I'm going to need the besties to explain these last 2 pages to me because I am confusion. And that's when I asked Nikki to explain it to me. I thought he was in prison. I didn't think that he was in like a mental hospital or anything. I thought he was like in jail because he like literally did a murder. You know? Did I bring a chopstick? Well, that was the Fury. Hooray. We did it. I think that if you really enjoy this author, you'll probably like it. I think that if you read The Silent Patient and The Maidens, I haven't read The Maidens, but I'm assuming it's somewhere along these kind of weird, you know what I mean? Storytelling. Like if you like his writing style, then you'll probably like it. I, however, did not. I don't find myself recommending this one. And just because it's like, for me personally, if you're going to have unlikable characters, you need to really make them like, you know, like if you're going to have a book full of unlikable characters, you either need to have like one that's like a main character that you're really rooting for, or just like really go full send evil and have it be like an anti-hero type of story where like, yeah, the main character is evil, but you like also kind of just like want to see how it all plays out, or like you're really anxious to see like if he will succeed or whatever. But for me, it's like, I didn't like Lana. I didn't like Kate. I didn't like Jason. You know, Nikos and her son were like too small of characters for it to be like motivating for me to like enjoy the book. And then obviously the narrator was a trash bag. So I didn't want him to succeed. I wanted him to fail miserably. And I also didn't really want the rest of the cast to succeed because they kind of stunk. Also, just like the balance of it is like really off. The whole like first 2/3 were just like for me so dull. For it to have just like a very kind of like bah, 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 ending felt very off balance to me. If you're gonna have like a crazy like bunch of things happen at the end, then you need to keep the beginning part like really engaging for me to like actually care once you start throwing twists at me, where I'll be like, oh my god, as opposed to like, are you serious? Hey, don't understand why Barbara was relevant. Who knows? Who knows? Driven by jealousy and money. When it was just like, hooray, a book about a man who just wants what he wants and is going to take it regardless and feels like he's entitled to a woman's love and attention because he wants it. Love that. Hooray. An entitled man trope. Love that. Thank you so much. We have the same middle name, Stephanie, except we spell our first names different. All right, let's move on. Unless anybody has any last gripes, comments, concerns. Oh, you can thank Nikki for that one, Kat, because she's the one who encouraged me to read Elsie Silver. There's a book club. Surprise! Ugh, man. Okay, we're going to talk about Kismet. You can join, of course. Welcome, welcome. If you haven't read this book, we're about to spoil it, so I'm just giving you fair warning. Hello. Also repetitive. Okay. Trash too. Always here to force Elsie Silver on people. When do we vote on the next books? At the end of this discussion, we're going to write down a list of what you guys would like to read for next month. And then after I vet the choices, then our Queen IT lady, Nikki, will make a Google Doc for you guys to vote on them. And then I will announce the winner on the 1st, which is Monday. So very short voting time this time. From Northern Ireland. Oh, Ireland. That's so crazy. Queen of cyberspace. I need to get her a shirt. A sweatshirt. I think I will. Okay. What did everybody rate it? Let's hear it. Our Missing Hearts. I'm going to write that down, babe. Okay, a lot more like middle of the road for this one as opposed to last one. Liked Kismet better than Fury. Trash. Give Kismet 4 just because the crows. The Raven's voice, because I did both read like with my eyes and my ears. The crow's voice was so unnecessarily creepy. So creepy. Birds. I didn't want to throw it out the window. Well, that's good. What in tarnation is happening? It says my live is going to end. Please don't do it. Hold on, pause. This thing just popped up on my screen and it says, we have detected inactivity during your current live. And it says my live will end in 25 seconds if I don't verify it. What is happening? I keep swiping the thing. Oh no. Well, then just go over to YouTube and then we'll finish the discussion there. What the frick? What the frickin' frick, man? Oh. Hold on. We're still live out here. I'm going to see if I can just re-go live again on here. That was very peculiar. Hello. That was so strange. I don't know why this app did that. Hi. Welcome back. I don't know why on earth, like a thing popped up on my screen and was like, we detected inactivity on your live. So you need to verify that you're still alive, or else you're not going to be live anymore. And I was trying to like do the thing that it was asking me to do. And then it just kicked me off. Very strange. Very, very strange. I'm not moving around enough. Well, my camera angle is different, and then it's like way better quality because we have a fancy microphone over here. Oh, very rude. It was a quick little break. I was gonna say quick, make me YouTube mod. I mean, we would have. Now there's a lot of people over here. Hello, everybody over here. Sorry, there's no chat over here because I can't keep up with 2 chats at the same time. I'll get there as an internet person, but not for my first time. That's too much. Oh, thank you so much. Live, laugh, love that. We're just about to start talking about Kismet. Everybody was just telling me their ratings. It seems you're killing it. Thanks. It seems like there was a lot more middle of the road opinions about this one. Yes, my name over there is the same as here. If you go to my page and click my link tree, I have it linked directly to there. I have dual. Yes, Catherine. So as soon as this is over, I will end this live and then it'll upload onto my YouTube channel. It only took us 2 years to get it together for me to upload my book clubs after we're done for people who missed it. You know? Okay. Can we talk for just a quick second about how pretty this is? This honestly was my favorite part of the book. The Under the Dust Jacket cover. So. Main character is such a doormat. Agreed. Agreed. Oh, okay. Let me go to my page. All right. Okay. I gave it a generous 3. I felt like I was being generous giving it a 3. My pre-reading thoughts were I have no thoughts. I have no expectations. Under the cover is pretty. Now, I will say, based off of the description, I thought that this was going to be a silly-ish, not silly like a comedy, but I thought this was going to be kind of like along the lines of like a Ruth Ware and then there were none spin. Like, did anybody ever read one? What is it called? Is it called One by One by Ruth Ware, where they're at like a ski resort and then people start getting picked off one by one? And it's kind of like what they call like popcorn thrillers, where it's just like, it doesn't take very much brain power to read it. It's just like a quick, easy little, thriller. I thought that that's what this was going to be. Desiree! But I didn't feel like it really was that. I mean, it was the vibe I got based off of the description. But it did not follow through with my expectations. My post-reading thoughts were this was very meh. I felt like it's generous giving it a 3 stars because I don't see myself ever recommending this. It felt all over the place. It was also slow and boring, very redundant. I will say I usually love the, oh my God, they were dead the whole time twist. But because the story wasn't fun or enjoyable to read, it was just like oh, okay. I'm also not someone who subscribes to new age crystal spirituality. So maybe if I did, I would have liked this more. I'm not disregarding anybody who believes in that kind of stuff. That's just not something that I personally subscribe to. So I think that maybe if I did feel very strongly about that sort of stuff, then maybe I would have connected more with these characters or like this story in general. And the best thing about this book is the cover. Those were my after I was done reading thoughts. There were too many times when the twins were not in the same room. So, all my crystals, and I hated this book. My cover just went, oh, I'm sorry. This one's the best part. As a person with a crystal collection, I was laughing at the unalloyed weapons. I didn't like any of these characters. Twins are always suspicious in a thriller. I took this whole book as a YA murder mystery, not a thriller. They need a bop on the head. Agreed. Okay, so getting right into it. Okay, when it's the prologue, the sound of the shovel hitting yet another rock made me shudder. She hated that noise like nails on a chalkboard, but worse. The ground was screaming at her for what she'd done. Every time she hit a stone, she went, killer, murderer. And I wrote, this is exactly how The Teacher by Frida McFadden starts. Like the opening scene of The Teacher by Frida McFadden starts with somebody digging a grave. And it's because like I had just read it. So I was like, what are the chances that in the same month I'm going to read a book that has the exact same opening scene? The ravens were so creepy in the audiobook. The flip-flop behavior of the main character sent me round the bend. I love that term. Reading the teacher next. Well, sorry for the spoiler that the very first scene is somebody digging a grave. So sorry to ruin that for you. They did not need to be that loud either. I thought they were hilarious. Oh, you hated the teacher? I mean, I stayed up until like 2:30 to read it. So I don't know if I mean, I obviously don't condone what happens in it, but I thought that it was a fun thriller to read. They were like Marcellus and Remarkably Right Creatures. But Marcellus was so sweet and precious. The ravens like literally bit some girl's lips off. Marcellus would never. Oh, because of that blog, because that last. Okay, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read it. I just heard Carl. It might have been a child named Carl. Marcellus needs a sequel. Okay. Let's see. Page 7, I wrote, okay, the sound of her retching sent the birds into the air, and now she could fully see what they were feasting on, a head that had been placed on an agave plant. Next to it, on a prickly pear cactus, were human hands and feet. And I said, ew, that sounds like an episode of Dexter. And then when she like, okay, what's her face leaves, right? Was it Marley leaves? And she's there with the birds and she's like, oh, do you want water? Okay, hold on. Ronnie slowly poured out some water for the bird. Onto what? The rock? Like, I wrote, like, she sounds like a total ding dong. Like, Dexter isn't that sloppy. And then, so they're back at home. 100%, but we didn't know him or her. Did you maybe take a photo of it while I was gone? What? No? Oh my God, I would never. Marley made a face. Damn, was kind of hoping to post it to Instagram. Instagram. And I wrote, the fuck? Like, what is wrong with you? I could not remember Marley's name. Melanie Marley. Marley was so irritating. And it's funny because like Marley gave me the same vibes as what was the book that we just read in last month? The ballet one where she's like, just do this thing so we can go back to the way things were. Even though like I'm a terrible friend and you know, I'm horrible human being. Let's just go back to being cool. I feed her to the beast, yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. And then the repetitiveness of like, don't say no. Don't say no. Say yes. Don't say no. That really grinded on my nerves so bad because like Marley would say it and then that other chick would always say it. Don't say no. Do this thing. Don't say no. And then right off the bat on page 14, I wrote, Marley gives me the creeps. Marley creeps me out. Marley was a less violent version of her aunt, only out for herself. 100%. Who moved into something they've only known for a few months? And not only that, but like you moved like across the country. You sold your home and moved across the country with somebody that you like did yoga with a couple of times a week. For why? Why would you do that? Don't say no. Say no if I want. Agreed. Okay. The next page, right at the end of chapter 1, Marley strode in and smiled at everyone. When she ordered, she asked for the healer's discount. I'm a life coach and healer, she said. No way. I'm clairvoyant. Our chef is a medium and a Reiki healer. I was like, what? There's a healer discount? I've never heard of that before. I didn't like a single character in this book. Agreed. My eyes almost rolled out of my head. So at the end of chapter 1, I wrote, what a bizarre first chapter. It felt like a bunch of random things thrown together. The dead man on a hike, the random flashback, back to the present. It just felt very like disconnected. Like if you're going to go back and forth so many times, like then break it up into smaller chapters. Like this whole first chapter was 16 pages long, but it was like 3 distinct moments, like 3 very distinct that could have been chopped. Oh, so sorry. Could have been chopped up more, easier instead of it just like being crammed all into one. And then it took me a minute to realize like the chapters that are called The Town. I was very confused because then I had to, because I really like, I saw that like chapter 2, The Town. And then I, not scrolled back. I read this physically, but I went back and I was like, was chapter 1 like titled? Is this just like a subtitle? The Town? It took me a moment to realize like what The Town meant. And it was just like, this is a POV of just like what other random people in the town are doing. Or like the birds. I haven't had a comment since Manga Bear Creatures. Yes. Why was it called The Town? I don't know. I was very confused. You don't want to go there at all now. You knew it was one of the twins from the beginning. You're very smart. Okay, chapter 2, which was a short little chapter of The Town. I said, what the hell is happening? Was this a dream? Was it real? Why was chapter 2 named and chapter 3 isn't? The writing feels like a stream of consciousness, and it's very weird. The crows were very creepy on Audible. I agree. I filed that under things that don't matter. I had to look up if the author had been to Arizona. And what did your research find? It feels like a story somebody's. Oh, she lives there. Oh. Okay. Sure, Jan. Just kidding. Okay. Okay, so this is like a flashback chapter when and it's like I feel like we were really beaten over the head with how terrible her aunt was. Like the whole book. And it's like, we get it. It's terrible. Truly terrible. Truly, no one should treat another human being like that, especially family. But it's like, so, we were being beaten over the head with it. I wrote, she shouldn't slap you, however. It is totally messed up to randomly decide to move to Arizona with somebody you barely know and then kick out the elderly woman who raised you with barely any notice. Not to sympathize with her aunt, but I could see where she would be very upset. Like, she's lived there for decades, and you just like randomly were just like, you gotta get out. Like, I could understand her frustration. It's not like what you did was not a big deal. Just saying. Then, okay, again, another parallel to I Feed Her to the Beast. On page 30, at the end of chapter 4, she's like, Ronnie is having this like whole internal thing where she's like talking about how she like has no friends, she has no real connections with people, she's just so like lonely and she doesn't know how to put herself out there, blah, blah, blah. And then Marley's like, Caroline texted as they were watching. Marley clapped with glee and narrated the text for Ronnie. Oh my goodness, she wants to hang out. Finally, a friend here. A friend who wasn't Ronnie. She wants to celebrate. Want to come? No, I'm good. And I hate it when characters complain about having no close relationships, but also actively pushing people away. Like, not to say that like beggars can't be choosers or anything like that, but it's like you can't like I have no friends. I'm so sad and lonely. No, I don't want to hang out with you. Like, that makes no sense. You can't have it both ways. I could never write a book. I read them, I don't write them. Don't call me like this. Her making a friend, yeah, very elementary school. I absolutely get social anxiety. Okay, well, and like I guess I should rephrase. In real life, it totally makes sense because putting yourself out there is a very terrifying situation and whatever. But like reading it in a book, when a character will go on and on about how lonely they are, and then when somebody offers them like what seems like genuine, like companionship, and they're just like, "Ew, why would you ask me to hang out with you?" I'm like, "Why?" They're literally giving you what you asked for. Feels like Angelina. You're like really in your Jersey Shore phase right now, babe. Love that. Okay, so chapter 5, it's another town. I thought maybe, is this like a short? Oh, I'm so sorry. I keep bumping into you. This is like a short story situation because it's like chapter 5, the town. I was just so bothered that some chapters were, I don't know, I just was not grasping that there were some chapters called the town and some chapters weren't. At this point, I started listening to the audiobook for the first time. And the fact that it was like the ravens were narrated, it startled me. It startled me. It bounced around too much. I agree. It was very all over the place. Okay. So they're talking, like Ronnie and Marley are talking about something on page 35. Okay, good. You're home now. You're with me, your family. We can tell each other anything. And then Marley laughed. Do you remember that first night when you came to my empowerment session? Ronnie grinned, but didn't know what was so funny. You were such a mess, Marley giggled. Your hair, that hideous blouse you wore that gaped at your boobs. I mean, just look at you now, my first success story. The way I would just be like, do you think that's a compliment? That is crazy to say to somebody's face. It's like the rudest thing ever. I'd have hit her. Me too. And then a couple pages later, page 39, they're in the store. And any crystals for me? Marley joked. Star just kept staring. That'll be 500, please. Marley handed over her credit card. And I said, for a crystal? Okay, crystal girlies in here. No judgment. But like, is that a lot? Am I just not knowing how much crystals cost? Or is that like, oh, is that a lot? Would you pay $500 for a crystal? No, that's not a lot. That can be normal. Whoa. Is it a large crystal? Like, is it at least like something hefty? If high quality. How do you like determine that it's high quality? You just have to trust the person selling it to you isn't a scammer. Hmm. There are visual signs. Okay. So if somebody's selling a crystal that's like cheap but should be expensive, do you just like assume that it's a fake or trash or something? I have like zero knowledge of crystal stuff. This is purple, right? I have a degree in geology. The crystal for healing stuff hurts me so bad. A fake one can be really purple. Okay. Got it. See, I don't know. I've never purchased a crystal before. But to me, I was like, $500. Whew, that is pricey. That is a pricey. I can't even imagine what I would spend $500 on. That's nuts. I think it's because it's down and it's clean. You don't see that very often. Okay. Thousands of dollars. Well, thank goodness my addiction is books and not crystals. I already wrote down our missing hearts. Don't you worry. It's written down. That's why Star owns the town, because she's making $500 a pop. Woo! Okay. I'm still on chapter 7. It's another town chapter. And I was like, okay, so is this just people in the town? I'm so confused. Like, I will literally die on this hill that the town chapters were just weird. I didn't understand. I did not understand. I was so confused. Only bought us a gem minerals show here in town. Huh? Did it work? Is this her debut novel? Somebody said that it's her second one. Or maybe I was just reading Nikki's pinned comment. I don't know if this was her debut or not. Like a town meeting of the Ravens. I'm really glad that it was on Kindle Unlimited too. Okay, it was her second book. Okay. We're talking about Kismet. Okay. Moving right along. Chapter 11, the town. The Ravens were talking about Marley. That's not what they called her. But they didn't like her. I said, I don't like her either. She stinks. And then page 66, I was like, Ronnie offed her aunt, right? Like, we're all understanding that Ronnie did that. Like, because if this is supposed to be like surprising or shocking, it definitely was not. Was anybody in here surprised that Ronnie ended her aunt? No judgment. But I feel like the author was pretty heavy-handed with that. I was giving at that point. You called the twin thing too? I did not. No, the twin didn't kill the other one. The alive, unless I completely misread the situation, the twin that survived was taking out people in the town she deemed responsible for the death of her twin. Right? Am I correct in that assumption? Yes. Okay. It's funny. My mom and dad reads a lot, are not in the discussion this month. They usually are, but they started to read this one. They DNF'd it because I know some of you are interested when they rate the books too. They got like 30 pages in and they were like, we're not going to read it. We're going to go read something that we actually enjoy instead. So when I was on FaceTime with them a couple days ago, I was explaining both of the plots really quick about these. And my mom was just like, wait, what? Say that again? Huh? Like, that's so weird and confusing, especially when it came to this one. She was like, heavens, that is messy. It makes no sense. I was turned off and they went shopping for crystals. Okay. So at the end of chapter 17, page 87, my thoughts were, so far, I don't like a single character in this book. Ronnie is a pushover, and I'm certain that she killed her aunt. Marley is a weirdo and annoying. Also, the pacing in the audiobook is very weird. So when I was like, I was going back and forth between reading it physically and listening to the audiobook when I was playing Zelda. And there were moments where even though I listened to the audio, I always listen to my audiobook sped up a little bit because normal audiobook speed is just like way too slow for me. There were parts where the narrator would take very long pauses when there wasn't a pause in the book. Like, obviously, like there, when you're listening to an audiobook, there's like a natural pause that happens when you finish a chapter and then the next chapter starts. Like, no one, I'll get her, I will. Chapter 18. Like, there's obviously like natural pauses when you're listening to an audiobook when there's like paragraph breaks or whatever. But it would be like, oh no, is it okay? Oh yeah, it flew off. I need more wine. Like, what is happening? Yeah, there was that shit on 3 times speed. Oh, well, there were like weird unnatural pauses where there, because I even would like, even though when I was listening, I would pull out my book and like follow along, and I would be like, why are they pausing right there? There's no pause. It's so weird. Okay, then I was very confusion. So Marley killed a bird, right? But like from my understanding, the bird ran into her car. Is that correct? Or did I misread it? Because they're talking about how like she needs to be punished for killing their friend, bird friend. But like didn't sh- I was very confusion. It's very confusion. She threw it out of the car. But okay, like I understand she left it to die. She did nothing to help the bird after it was hit by her car. But like it initially got hurt because it ran into her car, correct? Yeah, intentional to cause her car damage. Okay. So it's like if you're going to smash your body into a moving object, it's not the object's fault that you decided to smash your whole body into that object. Oh, like she wanted the birds to be on her car? Bird was out here faking workman's comp. She wasn't nice enough to help it. Okay, yeah, I totally. If you're gonna hold a vendetta over a person because, like, they are, they didn't do anything to help or whatever, like, I get that. But to be like, she murdered my friend in cold blood. No, she didn't. He bashed his whole body into her moving car on purpose with intention. She didn't do what she said she was going to do. Bird logic. I guess that's why they call it bird brain. All right. Anyway. I wouldn't want to know what to do. I'd probably just cry. Okay, moving right along. I went back and forth between like, is Marley the murderer? No, Marley isn't the murderer. I just knew that Marley was like so sketchy and weird, and I did not like her. Everything in this book was 2 nickels rubbing together for $1. No, it's like my little aside. I'm glad you guys like it. We're talking about Kismet. The birds turning into the sky. We do not approve. You know what, birds? Cram it. No, like I totally like Marley was trash. She was definitely a fake individual. The birds had every right to hate her, but to like become like turn it into a vendetta for killing their friend was weird because she didn't intentionally. I mean, if like anyway, but like they totally had reason to hate her. She sucked, obviously. The corals of the book. Ooh, Rachel, that would have been so interesting. That would have been a good twist. You're grasping straw. You're going to be obvious it was a kid or someone else. Ooh, interesting. Okay, moving along. And then again, like page 131, I have a surprise for you. Don't say no. I want you to try. Don't say no. I was like, I don't know why, but that like got on my freaking nerves. Don't say no. And she was like, spa day, which we now know is gross. Page 140. When they're like having a welcome to the session, new moons are about beginnings, birthing, blah, blah, blah. Marley walked over to her, waving and smiling like she'd just been crowned Miss America. Thank you, Lorraine. Now I'm new here, blah, blah, blah. And it says Marley was using a twangy accent and the crowd loved it. I said, Marley is so cringy, it hurts. Don't say no. I really enjoyed when Nikki was reading it and then she messaged me about the blood. Physically recoil. Yes, agreed. Marley was so terrible. Okay. And then then it starts getting like really racist when she's like, when she meets, who does she meet? Who is she talking to? Lorraine? I'm not Indian, I'm Pakistani. Is that so? Well, we love our subcontinent. I wasn't sure if you're a vegetarian or not, since most Hindus are. I'm not Hindu. I was raised Muslim, like Rumi. Oh dear, hope you're not one of those crazy Muslims. My jaw ground. I said, who says that? Oh, no, what's wrong with this woman? Because I don't want any zealots here. We can just tell everyone you're Indian. Like that just felt so like out of left field. It just made me like I was shocked. Jaw dropped. That's so crazy. And I said, "Oh, Lorraine is totally going to be Raven food." Like that's so crazy. I guess good things are made there. When did you move here? Oh, it's been a few months. Back in March with Marley. No, I mean the US. Your English is superb. The rage pulsing through my body. The rage. You know what? I want to have a party for both of you, but I know so many people who would just love to meet you. Ronnie. Ronnie, what's your given name? Rania. Rania, that's so musical and beautiful. I prefer Ronnie. Nonsense. I was like, oh my God. She was terrible. Terrible. These are things optimists make feelings. I hope not, but probably because people are crazy. That just made me so mad. Who does that? And then when they're at the store and the girls come in, the door chime tinkled and a couple of women walked in. Ronnie stood at the register smiling. Welcome, let us know how we can help, Britt said. What a darling shop, one said while browsing. Eventually, the two took their crystals to Ronnie. Hello, we would like to pay for these. The woman yelled at her. I'm sorry, you don't need to yell. Oh, you speak English. Oh, great. You know, we'd be more comfortable if you rang us up. They smiled. And then Britt's like, no thanks. We don't need your patronage. Like, I'm really glad that Britt stood up for her because that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. The rich white races with a rampant cultural appropriation in the wellness groups. Yes. Just made me so mad. So mad. And then the whole part were about whispering the secrets to the rocks. I was like, okay. But then Ronnie leaned down and whispered, I had to do it. I'm sorry. I was like, because you killed your aunt, right? We all know you did it. We all know you did it. We're talking about Kismet. Sorry, I can't invert the screen for you to read that properly. You guys can see it though. There was just like there was no real character that I actually enjoyed. Like, I didn't really like anybody. Okay, chapter 39. This is halfway. I said, this is really dull. I'm not sure what the point of this is. Everyone's terrible. The way this is written is really odd. Are the ravens evil? Is the killer killing people on behalf of the raisins? As I live and breathe, raisin. Who knows what that's from? I'm convinced she killed her aunt. If I were to rate it now, it would be a 2 stars. Bestie Book Club with Whisper Tube. Beware the raisins. The raisins, they're evil. Ronnie moving into the store without running it by anyone. It's just like so many things didn't make any sense. It just really felt like all over the place. The ravens are the best. Everyone else is meh. I mean, if you want, you can. It's because I have a little microphone right here. You can't really see it. I have a microphone right here. I'm dual streaming so that I can post the whole book club on my YouTube afterwards for people who've missed it. I have a little microphone that I whisper things into. Sold her house for millions, but couldn't get a hotel. Had to live in the store. Makes sense. Makes sense. The pacing was really crazy. I absolutely agree. Okay, we're halfway through this. We can do it. We can continue. I mean, like I said, like the saving grace was at least the chapters were short. I mean, yeah, there were like 1,000 chapters, but at least they were really short, just like a page or two. I thought that Lorraine was the killer after Suzanne Johnson got it. You look. Then let's see. Page 194. When Ronnie was like on her way home somewhere, and that freaking lady chased her down with a weapon and was like, stop, you need to, I don't believe you. And then, I don't believe you say who you say you are. Da 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 da, I live here. And like how she confronted Marley about it. Look what your little videos have started. She could have shot me. Ronnie, please calm down. You need to get a grip on your group. Like, how dare you? This group is to protect us. If you had just complied, she wouldn't have had to chase you. You're either with us or against us. I was like, Marley, you are the worst friend ever. Like, she was supposed to be your friend. And she was just like, you should have just stood there and gotten shot. Oh my gosh, Debbie. Nikki had the exact same comment about the scorpion. I would have moved out that second. Agreed. Wow, I went through a lot of pages where I didn't have any notes. I think I was just like, please let this be over. Please put me out of my misery. Please. Okay. Let's see. Marley followed her. I was thinking, this Peter thing could be great for us. She'd heard the news. Sedona was a small town despite the tourists. The world traveled fast. She refilled her glass of wine as Ronnie opened a to-go salad she picked up. Great. You mean him dying? It's not like anyone liked him, Marley shrugged, but with him dead, now my patrols can continue. My followers need me. I was like, oh, the unhingery. I can't take it. What's the plot on that one? I know. She was so unhinged. Like, she just desperately wanted to, like, be a cult leader or something. I don't know. She was so strange. I didn't predict the twins either. That surprised me. The alarming amount of wine, someone who only eats salad and hikes drinks. Let's see. Then when Caroline, rushes into their house. I've just been attacked, Caroline said. The slasher tried to kill me, but I got away. Oh my God. And I said, sure, Jan. Sure, Jan. I bet. I said, I still think it's Lorraine, but her and Caroline could be a duo. She could totally be faking this attack. Sure, Jan. You totally didn't beat yourself up. Thank you so much. Sure. Whatever you say, sweetheart. Okay, 261. Listen, Marley gripped her wrist so hard, Ronnie whimpered. You will do this for me because you're family. You're my sister. You're loyal to me. And then it says, fine. There was no way for her to win this. She had to give in. And I was like, you absolutely do not have to do anything. Like, why is Ronnie such a pushover? Like, it's maddening. Like, you don't have to do anything. Why are you letting her like manipulate you and just like walk all over you? And so then, that's why Marley had wanted her to do this, to use her blood. But why? Because yours has melanin. My brain short-circuited. Short-circuited. So you're using my blood isn't melanin in the skin. We both are. Don't worry so much. It's like, what the actual hell? See that? See, I wrote, what the actual hell? The most bonkeriest thing I've ever read. The first book was Fury that we already chatted about. And now we're talking about Kismet. Kismet. It didn't change. It was just like, I don't know what was the purpose. I don't know what the point of having them do that was. Just to like further show the unhingery, the like blatant disrespect, the like psychosis, I suppose. I swear I thought they were all in on it, setting her up. I thought it was a whole racist thing. That would make sense. I was very happy it was on Kindle. Agreed. Okay. And then at the chapter 61 to 65, it says, everyone, I have an announcement, the sheriff said and cleared his throat. We found the remains of Lorraine Williams. And I was like, well, there goes my theory. And then it appears she was attacked and then left in the desert between here and Cottonwood. Gasps surrounded them. Lorraine was dead. There, Lorraine. Do you have any leads? Marley asked, raising her voice so she'd be heard over the crowd. It's an ongoing investigation. We're looking at all the leads. Everyone, please calm yourselves. You see why we need patrols? You see why we must do this? Lorraine would still be here if we'd been patrolling. How dare you? Star moved so fast no one could stop her. She slapped Marley. This is all your fault. And I said, good for you, girl. Do it again. She needs to be stopped. The sheriff was a useless character. You are not wrong. Then the next page, and then like this whole scene between Ronnie and Marley. Ronnie quietly opened the door. Marley's car was in the garage. Her friend was home. Hopefully she was asleep. And then they like have a confrontation. You left me, I had to. You had Caroline, you weren't alone. Blah, blah, blah. Did you know who owned the center? And then Marley gets so mad. No, you're not. You know what I can't figure out. You act all sweet and oblivious, but when shit happens, you run to people who haven't done shit for you. Not like I have. I've done everything for you. I moved you out here. I helped you leave your shitty family. And this is the thanks I get. You left me when I needed you. And I was like, huh? What? This book was written like a Mad Libs. Yeah. And then Ronnie sighed, I gave you my blood. Ew. Isn't that enough to show you what you mean to me? No, it's not. You're either with me or against me. And then I had to laugh when she's okay. So you've said, what does that mean? Choose you and ditch Star or else? She had friends now, real friends, more than one. Ronnie couldn't give that up. It means watch out. If you betray me again, I'll fight back. I'm like, okay, Disney Channel, you need to like calm yourself down. If you betray me again, I'm gonna fight back. I like had to laugh. Like that was so cringy. It physically pained me. Mean Girls vibes, yeah. You better watch it. Oh dear. Okay. We're almost done. Oh, did I like not write anything for the ending? Let's see. Okay. About 30 pages from the end. We still don't know who, why, anything. Like what? When are my questions going to be answered? Hate reading really is truly, it's bonding, it's fun, it's camaraderie when we all hate the same stuff. It's one of my favorite things. And book club usually just turns into just like big old bitch fest. I love it. Okay, so then they like the birds attack Marley. Another bird struck her, then another and another. They were taking turns. She had no break between the attacks. One slammed into her mouth hard enough to break her two front teeth. And I wrote, that's literally my nightmare. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be bird specific, but breaking my teeth, my two front teeth is like a irrational fear that I've had forever. Anytime I walk upstairs that aren't carpeted, I'm always terrified that I'm going to slip, fall, and break my teeth. Like, yuck. The birds covered her like a shiny, moving blanket. No matter what she did, she felt their weight on her while they made cuts all over her body. No one could escape them. And I said, question, is this revenge for that one raven smashing his body into her car? I feel like this is a bit overkill. Oh, you're lucky that they were baby teeth. Oh, man. I was waiting for the birds to attack the whole book. Oh, that would hurt so bad. Bird logic. Raisin brain. Okay. Then we find out, like Marley squirmed before shouting, Brit's dead, you fucking lunatic. Brit wasn't dead. There was absolutely no way. And I said, all right, I wasn't expecting Brit to be dead the whole time. I was not expecting that. I'll give you that. It's not a joke. Britt was here with us. It's time for her to move on. Now I have you, my sister, my new sister, so pure of heart. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so unhinged. I said, so you're the one who killed everyone? But Lorraine, I didn't kill her. She did, nodding at Marley. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like that Spider-Man meme. I ain't going down for this. Which is not Spider-Man, but I don't care what you did to your aunt. I'll never turn you in. Ronnie blinked. There were 3 murderers out there in the desert. I said, well, at least I called that one, even though it was the most obvious one. Yay me. They've literally known each other less than a year, all of them. You knew one of the twins is it, but Britt being dead was surprising. Everyone's a murderer. And then it ends. And I didn't write anything else. You didn't call the ant thing? I felt very in tuned. Hi. We did it. A big giant gold star to everyone who read both, who suffered, even if you only read one. If you finished it, I'm very proud of you. You did it. You survived. You did it. I've never returned a book so fast. Can we have good books next? Yes, please. I survived Kismet. I feel like that could, like, I survived the Fury. Could be one. Okay. So, if this is your first book club, welcome. Hi. Hello. So happy you're here. We have now reached the portion in book club where I will take down a bunch of titles of books that you think it would be fun for us to read as a group for next month. Then what I'm going to do after this live is over, I'm going to like vet the choices to make sure that it's like not super inappropriate, that it's not written by a problematic author, that it's not under the St. Martin's Press publication, that it's not dark romance. We made that mistake once. We will never do it again. And then Nikki, our cyberspace queen, will make the Google Doc for all of us to vote. And then as soon as that is up and ready, I will make a video letting you guys know that it's live. I'll have it choked on my spit. I will have it posted in the link tree in my bio. You just have to click on it, and then it will have all of the stuff and things for you to vote. Last month we had a place for you to let us know what you voted, or what you rated, I should say, excuse me, or did you DNF the books from the this month, which is fun for me to see as a whole. So when I make like my wrap up videos and stuff, I can let you guys all know like what the general consensus was. And then the first is when voting will close, and I will make a video announcing which book was voted on the most, and then I pick a sneaky book that we will also read. So that's how it goes. Okay? Coolio. Now I'm going to start writing stuff down. Fear nothing. I feel like there should be some Jeopardy music in the background because it's very hard for me to talk and write at the same time. I can sing Taylor Swift to you, but I think that would be pretty terrible. Tinfoil Butterfly. Yours truly, Amina. If you can include the author in your in your text, so I can also write that down, because some of these are pretty. Holy Dune! I'm so sorry. I will not read Dune. I will not be forced to read Dune. Oh, also, I'm not going to write down anything that I've already read before, because I want to read it for the first time and experience it with you guys. The other Black Girl, I read that. Project Hail Mary. Haven't read that one yet. Yours truly, got that one down. All Hallows, Christopher. Start with a G. 10 years later, S.E. Green. Oh, The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden. I don't have that one. I haven't read it yet. Berry Pickers. That's the one that has blueberries on the cover, huh? I think I've seen that one. The Baby I Stole. That was in the vote for last month. One Wrong Word. My brain just short-circuited. I forgot how to write. Oh, my sister. Shaylin, are you still in here? You just texted me. I just saw it. Love you so much. Can't wait to see you. Codename Butterfly. Oh, there you are, Shaylin. Hi. Everybody say hi to my sister. Oh, Flowers in the Attic. Okay, I'll add that because I haven't read it. And it's coming in the mail from one of you lovely people, Krista. Flowers in the Krista in the Attic. That would definitely be an experience. He said no. I mean, if it gets voted on, it gets voted on. Don't make 300 haters. Hey, listen. I had to suffer reading Butcher and the Blackbird, okay? If I have to suffer reading Flowers in the Attic, then so do all of you. Please. Don't worry, there's 2 books. I'll pick a different book. Children of Blood and Bone. Okay, that'll be the last one. Okay. So I have my list, and then like I said, I'll vet them, make sure that they're all good to vote on, and then we will. Oh, Credence. No. So we have Our Missing Hearts, The One, Fear Nothing, One Dark Window, Tinfoil Butterfly, Yours Truly, Project Hail Mary, All Hallows, 10 Years Later, The Perfect Son, Berry Pickers, One Wrong Word. Oh, it's kind of a tongue twister. Codename Butterfly and Tinfoil Butterfly. Flowers in the Attic and Children of Blood and Bone. That is the tentative list. It's not the final list. I'm going to narrow this down a pinch. Well, Lisa Jewell, I'd read 2 of her books and felt very lukewarm about them. And then we read None of This Is True for book club last year. And I actually thought it was super fun. So The Perfect Son is a Prime book. So it's free with Prime membership. Good to know. The vote will be posted probably in an hour or so. Funny you should ask. I did get a sample of new merch yesterday. So, and if you want to see one of them, I was wearing it in the video I posted yesterday. So, and then stickers. Oh my gosh, why is it telling me that my life's going to end in 59 seconds for inactivity? What incarnation does that mean? Okay. Can I edit chat on YouTube? Edit. Can I make it chattable? Ooh. Okay, well, TikTok is booting me once again. So if you don't want to hang out for a little bit longer, I'm just going to primarily be over on YouTube right now. I just made chat available on there. But if you need to go and do other things, then go do other things. I will check back in like an hour or so, and then there should be a link in my link tree for voting. And then I'll make the announcement on the first for everything. I hope everybody has a wonderful day tomorrow. Love you all so very much. Okay, bye. Okay. Close. TikTok is being very weird. I agree. What the heck, man? Oh, well. We can hang out here for a teensy bit longer, and then we will skadoodles. Oops. Hey, hey, hey. I wonder if I could make this. I've never done this before. This feels so fancy and official. Okay, TikTok. I know it booted me twice. What the heck? Let's see. Oh, hi. Baked bean, Allison. Nice to meet you, Allison. You'll still be baked bean for me. Need more bingo square Rex. For which one? This is the after party. This is the after party for book club. This is so much easier on my laptop. Okay, good. Can't wait to order merch. If you haven't checked it out already, in my bio in my link tree, there is, I think it's like the top one is my merch store, and it has like this sweatshirt. It has hi hello merch. There's like hats and t-shirts. There's a Bestie book club purse, or like book bag, I should say. There's kids shirts. There's all kinds of stuff on there. And then if you want stickers and bookmarks, then you can check out Jess at the Strange Magic on Etsy. She's also on TikTok. And she is the person who is doing the official Steph Reads a Lot bookmarks and stickers. So you have it. There are children screaming outside. Always. And here I come. Audio. It's because there's this fancy microphone. And because my iPhone is, oh, look. Stickers. There's my phone is old and the microphone's kind of crummy. I actually have some of the stickers. Oh my gosh. I'm going to stand up, and don't you dare judge my In-N-Out sweatpants, okay? So there's like this little, should I be like an OG YouTuber and do one of these things? Focus. Are you going to focus? So there's a little Carl sticker. This one says, reading is rad. It's a mini bookmark. There's also this one. Carl screaming, but Carl. There's This is a Bestie Book Club friendship bracelet. And then this is a library card. That's Carl. And then my little hi hello sunglasses. And then Jess also made magnetic bookmarks, which are seriously the best. So this one says Bestie Book Club, which is the same design as my book bag that I sell on my merch. And then for people who have been around for a long time, this is Dillard. He's the pickle jar that I drink my iced coffee out of. And then also the Carl library card. So it's very exciting. She has all kinds of stuff. And she's actually going to be making a few new additions. I sent her 2 more new designs that she is whipping up. So as soon as I get them and she gives me the green light, I can share them with all of you. Oh, yeah. Oh, I wonder if I can, Nikki, can I make you a mod here? Add as a moderator. Ooh, add as a moderator. Can manage. I'm not. Can I do both? Oh. Oh, also has the capabilities. Okay. Nikki, you are the boss. Don't make Nikki mad. Because she's in charge here. Okay. Yeah. So I put, because originally I was gonna do stickers with the same company that makes my like shirts and sweatshirts and stuff, because they have like sticker options, but I did not think that they were priced appropriately, and also just like the stickers were not that great. So these were like my stickers before Jess made them. So Jess's stickers are way nicer than these. Oh, dang. I'm sorry that the shipping is expensive. The merch bundle the other day. Ooh. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid. Oh, there's like a little wrench next to your name. You're the handyman. Too much power. You're so funny. She is the wrench wielding queen. Okay. Jess is the strange magic on Etsy. Let's see. Oh, this like is way too small. You wouldn't be able to see it. But if you in the TikTok search bar, if you search for the strange magic, it should pop up. She's lovely. She's so very nice and sweet. And she sells a bunch of other stuff on her Etsy store too. She sells all kinds of other bookmarks and stickers and all kinds of stuff. It's just I reached out to her and asked if she would be willing to be the official bookmark sticker person for me. And I don't make any money off of the stuff that she does. She just it's all her. All goes to her. Very deserving. She's very talented. I just gave her my doodles. Temporary tattoos. Oh, don't give me ideas. Oh wow, look at you linking stuff. It's a cyberspace wrench. Oh yeah, she was doing blind date with the book. I think she's bringing that back too, if she's still got them up, because she reached out to me about doing like another type of thing like that. Mods have a sword on Twitch. Oh. Queen of cyberspace. It can maybe tomorrow, possibly, because I got it. So we'll see. This is so crazy. Oh my gosh, this is going to be like the longest video ever. My parents are going to get on YouTube tomorrow and they're going to be like, Stephanie, Why is this video over 2 hours long? So this is an XL. They're not multi-purpose. That's not the right word. They're unisex. So they're, I've had people tell me that they could have gotten a smaller size, but if you like your stuff roomy, then, I think that they're true to what I would assume a unisex XL crew neck sweatshirt would feel like. Oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. I don't know where we went. I did put Perfect Sun on the list. Yes, Perfect Sun is on the list. Which isn't the one, I don't have that one, but I'll totally get it. The ones I have are Never Lie, The Inmate, and The Housemaid's Secret. And it's funny because Never Lie is going to be the next. Sorry, I just burped right in the microphone. That was so rude of me. I've read Never Lie before, but I truly have no memory of it. I know that I read it. I even made a video about it because I rewatched it recently, but I have no memory of reading it at all. Oh, you didn't hear a burp? Okay, good. I don't know how sensitive this microphone is. Am I going to read more TJ Payne books? Are there more? I've only read the one. Oh, my Carl t-shirt. My boyfriend couldn't understand the whole Carl thing. Hey, listen, you either get it or you get it. You don't. It's okay. It's funny because now my children even call all the roosters Carl, like when we're walking to school and stuff. They'll be like, cram it, Carl. I have no memory of any of the books I read. He has 2 more. Then I'll need to look it up because I really, really liked whatever it was called. Court of Thorns and Roses. Yes, I have read it. I was so smug thinking I knew it was going to happen. Nope. I wish I could make this chat bigger because I have old eyes. At least with TikTok, I can make the chat bigger. So I'm not like, straining to see. Oh, well. Well, this is fun. This was fun. This was a fun little duo. Hopefully it wasn't too awkward and weird having both it on TikTok and on here. It took entirely too long for me to get it together to double stream. Oh, okay, good. I just kept bonking into this thing because it's attached to the table. And it's right at my mouth level. I have not read The Prisoner. Nope. Is last month's book club here? No. This was the first month that I dual streamed, so that way I could upload the whole thing afterwards. Oh, good. Oh, thanks, you guys. Stop it. Yeah, you better hear because I can read your comments. Well, there are 58 of you in here right now, and there were 299 of you on TikTok. So the chat definitely moves a lot faster over there than it does here. This is what book club used to be like before October of last year. Because we've been doing Bestie book club since January of 2022, right? Yep. January of 2022. Rock, Paper, Scissors was our first book that we ever read for Bestie book club. And the most people that we would ever have in book club would be like 24 people. And it would be like, oh my gosh, there were 24 people in today. It was so exciting. And then, October happened. And then I made a silent review for the first time. And then that shit popped off. And then and it's so funny because I had already had on the books that me and Lucinda Berry were going to do a live together. I was going to interview her for TikTok Live. And it was like, we were so excited about it. We had that planned for like a month and a half in advance. And then the week that the live is going to happen is when I blew up. I had, 3 videos go viral and I gained 80,000 followers in like 24 hours. And then, so we were expecting the Lucinda Berry like in live interview to be like really casual, and it ended up being like 700 people watched it. It was crazy. Not a fan of Lucinda. I'm super bummed. I tried 2 of her books. Which 2 did you read? You think you found my TikTok in October? A lot of people did. I went from 50,000 to 100,000, like literally in a day. It was nuts. It was absolutely crazy. Well, November is when we read, right? No, October is when we read Keep Your Friends Close. I don't remember what we read in November. Oh, that's so good to hear. I'm so glad. That's like my favorite thing to read, like the comment to read is like, I didn't read for a long time until you got me, you re-sparked my love for reading. Or when people tell me that they just got a library card for the first time because like I made them excited to go to the library. That is truly like the best compliment ever. What does your family think about your TikTok fame? I don't know. I'm like very like awkward about it. My husband's very supportive, obviously. I'm using his computer. The kids think it's cool. They don't quite know or understand. But my parents are proud of me, so that's good. Started posting about books on TikTok this month because that's so great. You just gotta do it. It's okay. Everyone starts with 0 followers. My first fairy book is coming today under her care. Ooh, I have that one right there. Well, I do love my library. We just went to the library. I took the kids on Wednesday. A lot of Barry's books endings will make you very mad. A lot of them are just like, what? Oh, good. I'm glad that you found our Bestie book club, even though I will say it usually turns into a bitch fest, but that's okay. Very rarely, I feel like out of all the books that we've read, all the dozens of books that we've read, very few have I actually like genuinely loved or liked even. Most of the time it's just like us raging for like 2 hours about books, but it's still fun. From 20 to 50 to 100. That's great. Have a good night, Baked Bean. Love you so much. It's almost 2:30. Wow, this is so nice. Little like chill after party situation of the book club chaos. My library doesn't have Hoopla either, if that makes you feel any better. Do they have Libby, at least? I came for the silent reviews. I stayed for the rage. Love that. I love Libby too. I don't know what I would do without it. Rage reading is so fun, especially if you're annotating. I don't know, it just like makes it like better. Rage reading is my kind of therapy. Hoopla is basically the same thing as Libby. I mean, it's obviously another like a whole nother app, but it's like the same premise. Like if your library participates in Hoopla, then you would sign in with the same information that you used to sign in for Libby. The only difference is that Hoopla, there's no wait. So if it's like it's either available or they don't have it, and you don't have to wait and be like on a wait list for a book to become available. It'll just be there if they have it. It doesn't work with UK Kindles? That's so weird. I do get your rage messages, Nikki, and I literally live for them. Thank you so much. I break for little libraries. There aren't any little libraries around me. So I'm really hoping that when we move, we'll be near some. Keep asking for Hoopla. Hoopla's really nice. I had Hoopla for a long time when I was because like we used to live in Washington before we lived here. And so I still had like my library card for one of the libraries where we lived in Washington. And then it expired. I had to renew it, but we didn't live there anymore. So I couldn't prove my address anymore because I obviously don't live in Washington anymore. So I lost access to Hoopla, which stunk. Yep, I'm back to California. Very exciting. I have to read on the mobile app, which sucks. No library apps can be sent to Kindle in the UK. Oh, that stinks. I despise reading on my phone. Like, obviously, in a pinch, if I'm like in a doctor's office waiting room or something and I didn't bring my book or a Kindle, which like sounds preposterous, like I would never do that. But like if I like if I have no other choice, obviously I will. But I really do not like reading on my phone. I don't at all. I like reading on my Kindle. Like that's, I go through phases where I'm like really into reading on my Kindle, and then I'll go through phases where I'm really into listening to audiobooks, and then I go through phases where I'm really into reading like a physical paper book. Right now, I'm in my physical paper book era. Like I cannot listen to an audiobook to save my life right now, which is weird. Because normally I'm like always listening to an audiobook like 24/7 basically. Like I almost always have this darn AirPod in my ear at all times listening to an audiobook. But this past like month, I think the only audiobook that I consumed was like parts of book club book, which is crazy. I'm so glad I could be the reason you have a Kindle. That makes me very proud. Every time I go to the library, because we have at my library, they have like a whole big shelf of all large print books. I always look to see if there's anything over there that I want to check out because I love reading things in like giant, giant print. Hookah. Oh, your local coffee shop. How fun. I'm glad it was a success. That's where the fury went. See you later, sucker. Oh, Hoopla. Okay. I was like, hookah. That's a new one. I mean, I just started with Libro FM. I just started using that not too long ago. I do feel really proud. It makes me so happy to have other people be encouraged to read. I love it. There are libraries that you can get a card for even if you don't live there. Yeah, there's like a dozen or so like across, like, obviously if they accept everybody, sometimes like the wait times for certain titles are going to be much longer since they have so many more members of their library, but it's pretty great that they're free and available. A little vacation for my eyes. Queen's Library. Oh, like their selection's really big. Libro FM is what I have, but I'm part of their and it's because of Nikki. Nikki like is my decision maker. She tells me to do something and then I do it. She's my boss. What's it called? It's like their influencer, whatever. So I can have up to like 10 titles of a certain selection of books. I used to be part of Penguin Random House influencer audio, whatever. But you want to know a secret? They kicked me out. Which really stunk because I used that app all the time because the Penguin Random House audio app was like really extensive. It had like new titles like months in advance before they were going to be published. And you could also request any title that was published under Penguin Random House, which is like extensive. Like that's huge publisher. And so I was on their I was on their influencer team for like a year and a half. And then a couple months ago, they're like, okay, you just need to like fill out this form to like renew your status or whatever. And then they sent me an email and they're like, we're sorry to inform you that we are not going to renew your status. I was like, oh, okay. I'm a bad influencer. And it's because I didn't talk about the app enough. That's the reason for not renewing my status as an influencer partner, is because I didn't talk about Penguin Random House audio app enough to their liking. I was like, oh, okay. Well, bummer. Berkeley Dark's on Neck Alley. And it's like, so it's so sweet. Jody, okay. So I was hoping that I was going to get the new Jody book a couple days ago, and by any other name, because it comes out in August, and I know that it's published under Penguin Random House because that's her publisher. That's like what a lot of her previous books have been published under, or at least her last two. And with Wish You Were Here, I received an email saying, would you like to receive an advanced reader copy of Jodi Picoult's new book? And I literally cried. Like, I know that it sounds so dramatic, but when I got the email asking if I would like an advanced reader copy of Jodi Picoult's new book, I cried because she has been my favorite author for like half my life, which sounds so dramatic, but it is. And then so like that was like super cool. That was like my, when Taylor Swift is on stage and she looks out on the crowd and she just has that like, incredible look in her eyes, like this is my I made it moment. That was my I made it moment of a person on the internet who talks about books. Okay. And so with Mad Honey, I didn't I wasn't asked first if I wanted it. It just showed up, which was very cool, covered in honey, because the PR package had honey in it and it exploded in transit. So I was thinking, well, maybe like, that's what this is going to be. And so I made a video about it and it wasn't, whatever. And like a lot of people were tagging Jody in my comments and um Jody is mutuals with me. She follows me on TikTok, which like I can't get into it or else I'll cry. But she has a friend, Melanie, who owns Parks Books. I can't think of what state it is in, but her and I are mutuals, and Melanie is real life friends with Jodi Picoult, and Melanie messaged me one time. She's like, I just want you to know that like I love that you love Jodi so much. Yeah, and she's my friend in real life, and I want you to know that I send her your TikToks. And I was like, what does she say? And she's like, oh, she loves them. She thinks that they're, charming and funny and whatever. And then Jody got on, and she's like, Melanie tells me I've been trying to get Jody on TikTok for months now. And, I think she's almost there. Da, da, da. And then surprise, everybody, Jodi Picoult is on TikTok, and it was very exciting. And within the first like a day or two of her being on TikTok, she followed me back. So we are mutuals. We have DM'd, so it's still very exciting. Like I definitely don't ever lose the fangirl in me for her, right? I very much understand and grasp how incredibly bonkers it is that somebody who I've been reading and loving since I was 18 like knows that I exist and has messaged me and stuff. So anyway, she's very sweet, and people were tagging her in my comments in the video where I was like, I really hope it's this book. And people were like, help the girl out, blah, blah, blah. So she DM'd me. She's very nice. She DM'd me and she was like, I just got word that the ARC copies just got to the warehouse this week. So they're probably going to be sent out to, people in the next week. So if you don't get one, let me know. If you get, rejected on NetGalley, let me know. And then I'll make sure you get one. And I'm like, good, because NetGalley is for sure going to reject me because I'm a terrible book influencer, you guys. You have no idea. You don't understand how terrible of a book influencer I am because authors, like personally, like Barry, okay? The way that I read Barry books before they come out, she asks me how I want to receive her arc. And I say, girl, just send it to me on NetGalley because that doesn't cost you anything. Because I will, with my own money, buy a copy when it comes out. Because I got to support Barry how I can, right? And so I have received arcs via NetGalley from authors personally. And I have not written a single formal review on NetGalley, not one single time, because I just use it to read the books. And I don't write reviews. I don't follow through with what I'm supposed to do. And so NetGalley, whenever I request anything, NetGalley's like, no, why would we give you this? You don't do what you're supposed to do. I'm a fucking religious people. I'm like, laziness. And do a review writing day. So what's funny is I'm so down to do that. It's funny that you mentioned that because I thought 2 days ago, I haven't updated my Goodreads in weeks. I haven't updated it. I've read like 4 books since I last updated on Goodreads. And I can't even just like, I just clicking, and I haven't updated Storygraph in like a month. And I'm just, whatever. So I was thinking the other day, that would be kind of a fun video to do of like, screen recording and like taking you guys along with me. I haven't written a even informal review on Goodreads in well over a year. And my New Year's resolution for 2023 was that I was going to write reviews for all of the books that I read. You know how long that lasted? Like a week. My technology manager. I know. It's it's and that's another reason why I need to blow my nose. Do I have tissue up here? No, I don't. I just have to suffer. Um, I don't like I've learned my lesson now because you're calling me out for having things since 2022 on my currently reading. I I wait until I'm like 75% into a book before I even mark it as currently reading because that's how quickly or that's like I'll DNF something, you know what I mean? Or I'll just be like, I'm not feeling this, and then I'll put it down and then like wait months and months and months before I pick it up again or never pick it up again ever. Uh, I have every intention to just put the book on pause and then continue reading it later, and then I just never do. So, uh, should I be the one who starts the Bestie Book Club Storygraph Book Club page? Yes, do it. So there are like 5 or 6 books that I'm like currently reading, and it's just because I started it. I had every intention of reading it, and then I didn't. Because I used to be like, pick out a book from my, you know, shelf and be like, this is the book I'm going to read. Let me go to Goodreads. Currently reading. And then I get like 5 pages into it, and I'm like, I don't want to read this anymore. I played myself. So now I like wait until I'm like for sure gonna finish it before, or sometimes I'll log it after I'm done reading it, and then it makes it seem like, wow, she read that book really fast. Took her an hour to read a 400 page book. I know there's a lot of features on Storygraph that I've just never tapped into. I just started using Storygraph this year. So, but yes, Nikki, I say do it. Okay, it is almost 3 o'clock. I need to get Nikki this list. We need to get that going. This live is 2.5 hours long. This was like the most fun ever. I love you all so much. Thank you for this like very chill and casual like after book club party. That's fun. That was fun. I hope you all have a wonderful Easter Sunday tomorrow, whatever you're doing. Eat all the candy, but not too much. Don't get a tummy ache. So, check my page, my TikTok page in like an hour or so for the voting. Okay? Okay. Love you all so much. Bye.